Hello, my name is Emily Iannelli, and I'm here invited by a friend of mine, Mitchie Turk, who's the vocalist of Mega Weapon, and I just want to say thank you to you and to your band and for giving me this opportunity to be here amongst all these wonderful musicians. Um, I'm not good with names, so I just want to say I'm just thrilled to be here with all of you wonderful acts, and being the kickoff really makes it seem more extraordinary to me. So I'm gonna start reciting some of my poems. I'm not sure if I'll get through all of them, but I have a few that I like. The first one I'm going to recite is Butterfly. The joy in my heart is real now, as I have always dreamed it to be. It was not always that way. There was a time my heart was longing for something that seemed out of reach. I didn't think it could ever be. It was constant, those feelings that never seemed to go away. I was plagued with them day and night. Sometimes I questioned my very existence. How could I go forward, knowing my pain, my desperation, my frustrations, my sadness? I never felt true to who I truly was. I always sought comfort in my mind's image, which was my wish, my hope, my dream. Would it ever be possible? I always wondered, never truly knowing what would become of my life. I was living in quiet desperation, crying, praying, fantasizing about a life where I felt my true self. How I wished for this to be possible. How I dreamed it so much each and every day. Life was a constant reminder of my uncertainty, my uneasiness, my fear, my lack of passion, my struggling in my never-ending quest to be me. I didn't know how to make it better. I was so lost emotionally, so detached, so hurt, so sad. I could not find my way. I felt lost, without hope, without the strength to fight. I felt incomplete. I felt betrayed. I felt all alone. I felt unsure of who I truly was. I knew what was in my heart. I also knew my painful reality. I thought long and hard about my life's dilemma. How could my life be the way I knew it should? How could I show my true colors? How could I let the world know what was within my heart? What was the authentic me? I really didn't know how to come to terms with my situation. I felt like I was always disconnected. My heart and soul singed in sorrow and pain. My dreams seemingly out of reach. My prayers seemingly unanswered. My struggle ongoing. My life a never-ending nightmare. I was not how I truly saw myself in my mind. My mind's image and my reality were far different. Then one day, when I least expected it, my life seemed to take a dramatic turn. As I had a monumental decision ahead of me to make, it would impact my life in a major way. All that I was seemingly, all that I was seemingly a memory. I took that fateful step. I felt in my heart that was the right thing to do. I went to bed knowing what my life was like. Then I awoke and realized something truly very special. I went from a caterpillar to a butterfly. That's about my transition from male to female. Um, it's hard to explain it to people, but I'm now 4 years into my transition and I'm pretty happy about it. My next reading is called A Message. I'm a spoken word artist, a poet, I guess you could say. My poems don't rhyme, but that really doesn't matter. What's important in my writings is the message. It's always been about what comes through in words. Words are very powerful. They can truly touch others in ways you couldn't imagine. Did you ever read a greeting card? They are written to carry a message. They are a part of everyday life. People enjoying receiving them. People love to be remembered. People love to be thought of. People seem to enjoy being captivated. They want to feel emotion. They want to know someone else's perspective. That is the beauty of what I try to do each time I feel inspired. I draw from within. I know what it feels like to hurt, to feel sad, to want to cry. I also know the better side of life, the happy side. I try to balance out what I write. I don't want to always come across as a dark writer. That's not my goal here. I simply wish to express what is real. I'm not into fluff and make-believe. Sure, fantasy is cool. I love it. We all do. But that's not what I'm about. I'm about reality. I will provoke you. I will scare you. I will haunt you. I will even make you think. A writer is worth nothing if there is no truth to what is said, what is portrayed, what is written. Sure, I am writing from my own personal perspective, but that is the beauty of what is said is my life. Sure, I also can use dramatic portrayal in my writings. That is a good thing. Not everything you read is completely true. Some is fabrication. I do it for the message. That is really the importance to writing, touching your audience, bringing them in, capturing them, tugging at their hearts, making them feel the pain. I'm also writing because I must. It is what keeps me going, helps me cope, teaches me to live, to accept my limitations, to find inner peace. Writing is about sharing, communicating, telling a story. We all have one. I will be the first one to tell you that. I will never stop writing because if I do, that means I no longer live. I will always write for as long as I live and for as long as I have a message. The next one I titled The Stage. It truly is very special having a true friend. I have many fond memories of her. She is precious. She is beautiful. She wants to be a star. The world is her stage. She is charming. She is truly very special. I am her friend. I care about her. She always smiles. The reality, though, is that she carries a secret. Not your ordinary secret. This is huge. If people find out, it will ruin her chances of becoming someone. It seems the world is not yet ready for people who identify as transgender. There seems to be a disconnect. Hatred runs deep. Why? I don't really know. It's truly very sad. I guess I will never know. Well, my dear friend, I'll just call her Angel, because that is what she is. She has so much love in her heart. She has such a sweet way about her. She's so pretty. You can see how truly lovely she is. She loves to dress up. She loves to wear beautiful dresses. She loves music. She loves making friends. She loves being true. She loves people. Why is it so hard for so many people to accept transgender girls? I have a tight bond with her because we both are transgender girls. We both have big dreams. We both have hopes and wishes. We want people to learn that being transgender is okay. There should not be hate. There should not be discrimination. My friend can sing. She can perform on a big stage. She has talent. That talent should be exposed. It should be shared with the world. My friend is awesome. I love her. I think she's great. I want to see her live her dream. I want to be there with her, showing all how truly beautiful we are as we sing our hearts out up on the stage. My next writing is called Stunning. Wouldn't it be nice to walk the runways as a fashion model, having fashion people in the know, attending to your hair and makeup, making you look most beautiful, allowing you to express your true feminine essence? Wouldn't it be nice experiencing the life of a stylish and elegant woman, enjoying wearing lavish dresses everywhere you go, having photographers in your presence, capturing your image in photos to be published in fashion magazines. Wouldn't it be nice to be in the limelight, attracting the attention of others, having girls admire you, having guys treating you with respect, soaking up every moment? Life would most certainly be more exciting. I can envision traveling the world, visiting Paris and dining in one of those sidewalk cafes, hanging out in London, seeing the Thames and famous London Bridge, vacationing in Rome and seeing the historical architecture, shopping in Milan in the wonderful dress boutiques, celebrating Fiesta in Madrid and eating plenty, attending a concert in Sydney in the famous opera house, walking the streets of Tokyo at night and seeing the nightclub scene, seeing the beautiful landscapes of Toronto in both the summer and winter, learning French in Montreal and being captivated by the beautiful culture and city, spending a day in New York, just taking it all in. These are some of the places I'd love to see. The list goes on and on. I just wish it were possible to travel anywhere I wanted, to be pretty, to be feminine. I live for being feminine, wearing pretty dresses. I adore dresses in all styles, in all colors. Doesn't matter the length, short, long, doesn't matter the color either. Pink, white, yellow, floral print, especially the little black dress. I would love to go out on the town in my little black dress with matching black tights and black heels. I so want to be a model. I want to live my female life. I deserve it. I always knew in my heart what I was. It's taken years to find my true self. Now I have a dream. Dreams are good. That is my dream, to be me, a girl, a woman. Sure, I want to be a fashion model, but that's a fantasy. My dream is to just be me, a happy transgender girl who has love in her heart and can be noticed as a pretty girl. I would love to hear someone say, I look stunning. My next writing is called Jasmine Tea. Sometimes we feel like our lives are traveling on the superhighway of life at 100 miles an hour. There seems to be no time to relax and enjoy the important aspects of our lives. We all have tons of things to do. We all have priorities. We all get consumed with our worries, our fears, our anxieties. We must realize that if we don't try to enjoy our lives and appreciate what truly is important, we will find ourselves smack in the middle of lost opportunity. Our children are truly the centerpiece of our lives. We must always learn to make time for them. They are not always going to be young children. They too will grow up and begin their own lives and need to also make choices and decisions of their own. We don't always know what we truly want in life. We can dream and hope for things. We can make plans and strategies in trying to live out our dreams and finding our true happiness. We all want the same thing, it seems. We want to be successful. We want to be happy. We want to be wealthy. We want to enjoy what we do. We want to be loved. We want to be respected. Sometimes life truly does get very complicated. We find ourselves stressing out, trying to make sense of what we're doing, what we want to do, what we hope to do. Why does life have to be so challenging, so hard, so difficult? Sometimes we just have to sit down with a friend or two and appreciate a sip of jasmine tea. I think we all need to take breaks. Life can be difficult. My next writing is called Intricate. I stare in puzzlement at the plans, all diagrams with numbers and letters assigned. I am sometimes baffled as I try to make sense of it all, spreading the pieces all out onto the floor, trying my best in assembling them according to the supposed booklet of instructions. Sometimes I wonder if I can even put it together. I desire to, I wish to, I have this overwhelming need to. I must try my best as I find myself trying to figure it out. Sometimes I get frustrated. Other times I am curious. I want to solve the inner workings of this seemingly complex assortment of plastic, metal, and wood. I sometimes wish I had a mechanical mind. I want to prove to myself that I can do it. I want to feel this sense of accomplishment as I complete what I have started. I never like to leave anything unfinished, unresolved. I must complete this project that awaits me. I must show my dedication, show my heart, show my enthusiasm. I'm not going to let my frustration beat me. I can do this. I know I can. I am capable. After all, this is what I tell my son. Now it's my turn to believe in myself. I must never give up. Life is all about accepting challenge, facing obstacles, facing difficulty. Life is also about conquering, winning, achieving. That is what I want. I want to know I can do it. I can do anything. Nothing should hold me back. I will find the patience to complete what I have started. I know I can. There is nothing that will get in my way, no matter how intricate. I'm sure you all try to put together furniture or assembling the cable in your house and you just want to just throw it because you get so frustrated. Well, that was the basis for that writing. My next writing is called Premonition. Jessie is awakened from her dream that sends shivers down her spine. She isn't sure what to make of it, but it seems very real to her, and her immediate reaction is to flee from her existence as quickly as possible. She needs to escape her troubled past and start a new life for herself. She needs to gather her money and personal possessions and head west as far away as possible. She isn't sure if what she saw in her dream is going to happen, but she is very concerned and does not want to take any chances. She just wants to get a fresh new start and find her safe haven. Jessie has had a difficult life, forced to live on the streets. She is essentially homeless and has no one to turn to, so she has no choice but to sell her body to survive, just to find a temporary living arrangement. But something has gone awry when she refused to continue to work in the sex trade as a result of physical abuse by her captors, who took most of her money and forced her into sexual activities which started to affect her emotional well-being. She is scared and is desperate to escape this bondage, which is really bringing her down as she starts to contemplate suicide just to escape this horror she finds herself in. She does not want to be continually branded a prostitute. Jessie is at wit's end trying to leave all this behind her. She wants to make sure she does not tip off anyone as to her whereabouts. The other concern for her is where will she go and how will she survive? She needs an apartment, but how can she find one without a job? How can she find a job when all she knows is selling her body for money? She certainly does not want to fall victim to the sex trade again, but realistically, what are her options? She is a high school dropout with no next of kin and is only 17 years old. She's been living in alleyways, basements of local stores, and at train stations, waiting rooms, and is tired of such an existence as she feels trapped and a pawn to criminals who need to be held accountable for their illegal activities. She is now on the run and must stay one step ahead of the mafia of the sex trade as her life is in immediate peril, and one wrong slip up can result in her recapture and possible death. She is running scared and is in a race against time. She also has reservations about going to the police as she feels they cannot help her nor can an attorney. She is on her own and does not want to meet up with what appeared in her dream, which she hopes is not a sign of things to come, as it is a very scary premonition. We were homies. Hey, what's up, my friend? We go back now how many years? I remember as plain as day when we first met on a street in East LA near an abandoned building that served as a hangout for those who were lost with no clue where their life was going. I almost fell into that pit of despair myself, but I was always a fighter, even though I was in trouble emotionally, coming from a broken home. Thankfully, you came into my life. You were always there for me, and I was always there for you. We had to stick together. The gangs of the street we grew up on were dangerous, and we had to always try our best to stay clear of them. They were into drugs and pushing them on the street. They were armed and dangerous and seemed to get away with numerous crimes. They were bad news. The cops were always in pursuit. We were on the fringes of society. We wanted no part of that kind of life. We wanted so much more. Remember when we made a pact that we would always stick by each other's side? It was for the rest of our lives. We would never abandon each other. We would be friends until the end of time. We had a special bond that could never be broken. We were always together. We even jammed together. I sang and you strummed guitar. We had these wild dreams, hoping we could break free of the poverty dealt us. We wanted freedom. We wanted to see the other side of life, the happy side. We prayed for that. Then we pushed ourselves to extraordinary limits. We found a way to go to college. You studied to be a teacher so you could work in the inner city, helping the kids and teach them good moral values. And I went on to become a struggling musician and an office administrator. Everything seemed cool. Life was going well for the both of us. We both were married with kids of our own. Then I heard the terrifying news one night on your way home from a parent-teacher meeting of how you walked home and was gunned down in a poor section of East LA, the very streets we grew up on. I was in shock as I attended your wake and funeral, shouting to the heavens that it wasn't supposed to be this way because we were homies. That's a tragic story of friends who grew up in a difficult situation, who eventually broke free, only for one of the friends to actually die, going back to that very sad and tragic story. And the reality is that things like that do happen. My next reading is called The Jewish Girl. She wanted to be a writer, an actress, a Hollywood starlet. She was a teenager, beautiful in spirit, beautiful in so many ways. She was a sweet girl, filled with dreams. She was forced to live in exile, in a small hiding place, protected by friends who were sympathizers. She would find writing to be her escape from the painful isolation forced upon her and her family. She would write all throughout the night. She would write every day. Her writing gave her hope. Her writing helped her cope with her sadness, her emotional pain, her depression. She found her writings helpful, as she would write about all the musings of a teenage girl in love. She was a great student. Her life seemed perfect. That is, before the German occupation. She talked of boys, of growing into young womanhood. She was so very special. She was sadly born in the wrong time, the wrong generation, the wrong land. She had a heart of gold. She was a very special and kind young girl. She wrote of things that made her happy, that brought a smile to her face. She was a shy girl. She was forced into hiding with her family. Her life was stolen from her, her freedoms taken away. She had to survive on a hope, a dream, a wish that one day things would go back to normal. She hoped and prayed for a life outside once again, where she could smell the flowers, where she could appreciate the bike rides through the narrow streets, where she could go on to the markets with her girlfriends, where she could hear the birds. She so desperately wanted to become a woman, talking with her older sister Margot about girl things. Life would change from the innocence seen through the eyes of a girl so precious in every way. Her name, Anne Frank, she wrote in her diary. She called Kitty. Every entry she made, she would date it and start it with Dear Kitty. Every entry she made, she, she poured out her heart and soul into her diary. She told the story of a girl's life, a girl caught up in a war that was heartbreaking, a girl forced to hide with her family to avoid capture by the Nazis. She would make up stories. She would write about her feelings on the war. She would write about life in captivity. She would write about girlhood, about all the things a girl her age thought about. She tried to be optimistic and look for the good in her experiences. She so wanted to be a Hollywood actress, a model. She was just a girl, a sweet girl, who was supposed to grow into adulthood, but sadly her life extinguished because she was a Jewish girl. Well, I'm all out of time, and I just want to say thank you. Bye, Emily.